Number 10. Door lock rituals. Picture this. It's midnight, you're half asleep, and you've already checked your door lock twice. But something nags at you. You walk back. Twist, jiggle, pull. Yep, it's locked. Yet your brain whispers, check again. Before you know it, you've done it 5 times. This isn't just about being careful. Psychologists say compulsive door checking often masks a deep fear of vulnerability and chaos. It's not the door you mistrust. It's the unpredictable world on the other side. Your mind turns the lock into a ritual, a shield against the possibility that everything could unravel if you miss one tiny step. It's the same instinct that drove ancient rulers to build elaborate defenses. The medieval city of Carcassonne didn't just have one wall, it had 2 and towers every few feet, double-checking on a massive scale. That fear of invasion translates into our modern lives as the fear of intrusion, rejection, or disaster. But here's the strange twist studies show. The more often you perform the ritual, the less secure you actually feel. The habit feeds the fear like scratching a mosquito bite that only makes the itch worse. Ordinary, yes. Terrifying, once you see the psychology behind it, absolutely. Number 9. Cleaning obsession. Imagine scrubbing the counter until it shines like glass, then spotting an invisible speck no one else could ever see. You grab the sponge again. People may think you're just tidy, but underneath cleaning obsession often reveals a fear of being judged or worse, exposed. This isn't about bacteria, it's about shame. Keeping things spotless is like performing surgery on your environment, carving out all traces of imperfection. If someone walks into your house, they won't see you as flawed. They'll see gleaming countertops and perfect order. Sigmund Freud once noted that compulsive cleaning can be rooted in early anxieties about control. In modern terms, cleaning isn't just removing dirt, it's removing doubt. During the Black Plague, towns burned barrels of aromatic herbs in the streets, convinced it purified the air. Today you bleach your bathroom for the same psychological reason, to fight invisible threats. The scary part, overcleaning actually creates more stress. A 2015 study showed that people who felt pressured to maintain spotless homes had higher cortisol levels, basically stress hormones buzzing through their bloodstream. So, the spotless sink you're polishing. It might actually be polishing your fear of inadequacy. Number 8. Spice rack perfection. Alphabetized oregano. Cinnamon stacked neatly in size, order. A Sunday ritual where you spend an hour organizing bottles no guest will ever notice. Sounds harmless, right? But this habit often hides a fear of uncertainty. Think about it. Life is unpredictable. People betray, accidents happen. But your spice rack that you can control. Order gives the illusion of safety. Ancient generals like Napoleon cataloged every detail of supply routes and troop placements, not just for efficiency, but because chaos terrified them. Your kitchen shelf becomes your battlefield against disorder. Psychologists call it compensatory control. When we feel powerless in one part of life, say relationships or finances, we impose hyper-control in another. Alphabetical cumin isn't about cumin. It's about building a fortress against the storm. You can't alphabetize life itself. And the punchline. Once the bottles are perfectly aligned, you step back with pride until one is crooked again. Suddenly you're right back in the spiral. The spice rack is never really about spices. It's about wrestling with the abyss. Number 7. Comfort eating rituals. You're not just reaching for that tub of ice cream because you're hungry. It's midnight, you've already brushed your teeth, and yet there you are, spoon in hand, taking comfort in sugar. This ordinary indulgence is often a mask for a much deeper fear emptiness. Psychologists say that overeating, especially comfort food, isn't about craving flavor. It's about craving safety. Food fills a hole that isn't physical. It fills silence, loneliness, rejection, or even the fear of failure. That chocolate bar isn't chocolate, it's armor against your own thoughts. In the 20th century, soldiers returning from wars often turned to food as self-medication. It was easier to chew through fear than to face it. Even now, studies show people under chronic stress eat significantly more calorie-dense foods. Why? Because sugar and fat release dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. For a moment, you forget the void. But here's the dark side. The more you feed the fear with food, the louder it grows. The emptiness doesn't vanish. It just waits under the surface. What looks like a normal late-night snack is actually a ritual fight against the terror of being unfulfilled. Number 6. The infinite scroll. You're lying in bed, eyes burning thumb, flicking endlessly down your phone. TikTok, Instagram, Reddit. It doesn't matter. You're not looking for anything specific, but you can't stop. This habit looks like boredom, but it's really about fear, the fear of confronting yourself. The silence between scrolls is unbearable because silence talks back. When you put the phone down, you might have to think about your life, your mortality, your mistakes. So you scroll to drown it out. Psychologists call this avoidance coping filling time, with noise so you don't have to face the echo of your own mind. It's not new. Ancient Romans distracted themselves with endless gladiator games, elaborate festivals, and public feasts. Bread and circuses kept the people from asking hard questions about power, death, and meaning. Your smartphone is just the modern version of the Colosseum. And the terrifying twist. The more you scroll, the more anxious you become. It's like drinking seawater, the thirst only grows. What looks like harmless entertainment is often a shield against the deepest fear of all discovering you don't like the answers that come in silence. Number 5, over-talking. Some people walk into a room and can't stop talking. Every silence must be filled, every gap plastered over with words. To outsiders, it seems like simple enthusiasm. But at its core, over-talking hides a primal fear of invisibility. The subconscious message is, if I stop talking, will I disappear? Words become a lifeline, proof that you exist. It's the same fear that drove rulers, philosophers, and emperors to commission monuments and books. If the voice stops, so does the memory. Julius Caesar once bragged, I came, I saw, I conquered, but behind the words was the terror of being forgotten if he stayed silent. Psychologists point out that overtalking is often tied to social anxiety. The chatter isn't confidence, it's camouflage. By flooding the air with noise, you keep others from peering too deeply into your thoughts. The irony. The more you talk, the more likely people are to tune you out, leaving you more invisible than ever. The habit looks ordinary, even charming, but what it hides is haunting the fear that if you stop, you might vanish into silence. Number 4, always too early. There you are, sitting in your car 25 minutes before the meeting starts. Everyone else will stroll in on time, but you're already parked waiting, pretending to check your phone. People assume you're just responsible. But psychologists say chronic earliness often reveals a very different fear, abandonment. If you show up early, no one can leave you behind. You've secured your place, proven your reliability, and shielded yourself against the possibility of being overlooked. It's a habit rooted not in politeness, but in anxiety about being irrelevant. Think about it, royalty in the Middle Ages would force their servants to arrive hours early for ceremonies, not because it was efficient, but because lateness symbolized betrayal. Being forgotten was unthinkable. You mirror that in your own life, as if punctuality is a guarantee against invisibility. The haunting twist is that being early doesn't calm the fear, it amplifies it. You sit in your car clock ticking louder, with every second replaying worst-case scenarios. You didn't conquer the fear, you just gave yourself more time to live in it. Number 3, saving every scrap. That drawer of old receipts, broken headphones, and random cables. That's not just clutter, it's a shrine to fear of loss. Hoarding doesn't always mean you're greedy. More often it means you fear scarcity, both material and emotional. After the Great Depression, survivors often saved aluminum foil glass jars and scraps of fabric. To outsiders, it looked obsessive. But to them, throwing anything away meant flirting with disaster. Each object was insurance against the void. Psychologists describe hoarding as a survival strategy gone rogue. Your brain tells you, if I let go, I'll be unprepared when disaster comes. The objects become talismans, small anchors holding you steady in an unpredictable world. Here's the twist. The clutter itself feeds anxiety. Every drawer you can't close, every pile you trip over, is a reminder of looming catastrophe. What looks like a harmless, just-in-case drawer is actually a battlefield with fear of scarcity loss, and even death. Number 2, the mirror fixation. How many times did you check your reflection today? Once before leaving the house, twice in the bathroom mirror at work, or maybe 15 times with your phone camera on selfie mode. This ordinary checking is often a disguise for a deep fear of unworthiness. It's not vanity, it's anxiety. Each glance isn't admiration, but a desperate question. Do I look good enough? Do I deserve to be seen? Psychologists call this mirror-checking behavior a common symptom of body dysmorphia, where the reflection is less a friend and more a judge. In Greek mythology, Narcissus stared at his reflection until it destroyed him. But here's the overlooked detail. Narcissus didn't fall in love with himself. He fell in love with an image he could never truly possess. That's the tragedy of mirror obsession. You're not admiring yourself. You're begging for reassurance. The dark irony is that the more you check, the less certain you feel. The reflection doesn't answer, and so you return again and again, chasing an approval that never arrives. Number 1, work without rest. It's midnight, the office is empty, and you're still typing. Everyone else has logged off, gone home, maybe even slept 8 hours. But you're here grinding. To the outside world, this looks like ambition. In reality, psychologists say, endless overworking often hides a primal terror in inadequacy. You don't work late because you want to. You work late because you fear what happens if you stop. If you rest, someone might notice you aren't as capable as they thought. If you pause, maybe the facade will crack. The laptop becomes a shield, the glowing screen a wall between you and self-doubt. History is full of figures who did the same. Alexander the Great marched relentlessly across continents, not pausing to consolidate his empire. His hunger for conquest wasn't just strategy. It was an obsession to outrun the fear that stopping meant fading into irrelevance. Today, your empire is a spreadsheet, but the psychology is the same. And here's the dark twist: overwork eventually reveals the very weakness you're hiding. Burnout, exhaustion, mistakes, they all creep in when you deny yourself rest. The grind looks like dedication, but beneath it, it's a desperate flight from the fear of not being enough. That's it for today. I'll be doing similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.